Hi, good morning. Welcome to Info Daily News. I am Montserrat Almanza, and I am here today to keep you informed about international news and health with reliable and current information. So, the highest inflation in the last 20 years in the United States. In March of this year, USA inflation reached its highest level in the last 20 years. Inflation has stood at 8.5% in 12 months in the 12 months to March, but the USA Bureau of Labor Statistics said that inflation in April had slowed to 80 to 8.3%. And also about that, a couple of days back, the president-elect Joe Biden, in a speech at the White House, said that inflation was their main economic challenge in that moment. And also about the inflation, some Republicans have tried to blame Biden's politics for the expensive prices for the inflation, but the president has attributed inflation to supply chain disruptions, which were hit by the pandemic for COVID. And also another reason for the inflation is that the Russia's invasion of Ukraine, who has affected the prices of many things, for example, petroleum and some cereals, because Ukraine is a great producer of cereals, and it was affected by the war. Moving to another news about Ukraine and Russia, the USA Senate on Thursday approved a $40 billion package of military and economic aid to Ukraine and their allies. And the aid was approved through a vote in the Senate that has been esteemed by the Republicans who thought that amounts should be first directed to the national problems and not to help another countries. And the problems that they refer were the inflation, the money should be directed first to the national problems, such as the inflation. And also, Chuck Schumer, who is a Democratic majority leader in the Senate, said that help was on the way, really significant help, and aid that could ensure that Ukraine would emerge victorious. He referred to the help that they gave to Ukraine, that it could be helpful. And now I will let you see this video from UNICEF, where it says about their activities that they are doing to help children in Ukraine and who are really vulnerable to many mental problems because of what they have been living during these months. And this is a admirable, great work of UNICEF, and I admire that. And let's go to a welcome back. And now in the whole segment, I have prepared a note for you about the diabetes in children in Mexico and how we can prevent it with special food and physical activity. So, obesity in Mexico. Children suffer from diabetes and growth deficits. In Mexico, childhood diseases such as diabetes and obesity worse during the COVID pandemic because of the sedentary lifestyle that the children had. Um, they didn't go to school, so there wasn't many physical activity. And diabetes is a disease that happen when your glucose, also called blood sugar, is too high, and which is caused many times by overweight and insulin resistance. One in two Mexican children born after 2010 are expected to develop diabetes in their lifetime. A doctor specialized in obesity and diabetes say that the disproportionate exposure to those conditions were caused by factors including poverty, structural racism, historical pressure, and marginalization. The last year, the diabetes cause of death of 105,000 Mexicans. So, Secretary of Health asked parents to take care of the food and habits on the children's. In a interview, the doctor Mariana Reese, who is a specialist in childhood hormonal problems, say that in pediatrics they had to worry about several types of diabetes, but the most common was type 1, and the difference between type 1 and type 2 is that type 1 was an autoimmune condition and couldn't be prevented, and the bodies were attacked, especially some organs, especially like the pancreas, and which is the organ that produces insulin. That's why they have to take pills of insulin. Can diabetes be prevented? Well, type 1 of diabetes can't be prevented. Unlike type 2, diabetes can be prevented sometimes, in some cases. That's why it's very important to take care of the children's. But how can we prevent diabetes type 2? According to the magazine Kids Health, diabetes type 2 can be prevented by many ways. Their principal recommendations are that children follow healthy diets, which don't include sugar fruits, drinks such as cookies, cakes, sodas, and flavored mix. Those types of food is really common to see on children's. Also, it is recommended to do physical activity, but not only for the children's, and also you have to include to the whole family, the parents, the older sister, and this physical activity could be like dancing, cycling, running, swimming. The important is to do something. To solve the problems, the citizens need help about health education, But the question is the Mexican government figuring out how to solve the diabetes and the adults? And is the government doing something to solve this problem that is affecting so much the Mexican children? Well, that's a question that we will have to answer the next program. So I hope so. See you on the next. So see you tomorrow in the same channel at the same time. Bye.